Tandi MacCallum has spent nearly 2 decades as a professional golfer, competing both internationally and locally. She won the SA Women's Open in 2009, and most recently she made history as the first ever woman to win the PGA National Order of Merit last year, alongside back-to-back Women's PGA National Championship titles. While she plays professionally, she's also a coach and a SuperSport commentator, building a multifaceted career around the game she loves. In this episode, we talk about the financial reality of women's professional sport, the pressure that nearly broke her, returning to competition after becoming a mother, and why she believes she's playing the best golf of her life at 40. This is a conversation about ambition, identity, resilience, reinvention, and what happens when you stop trying to prove yourself and simply start playing your own game. Welcome to the room she built. Tandi, welcome to the room she built. We're very happy to have you here today. You're looking very bright on this very cold day. And you fit in beautifully with our wall that's becoming a bit of a feature.
With the room that you built.
With the room that I built. So thank you so much for joining us today. Your story is a very interesting one with very many diversions and pivots, but your core has always been the same, and that's professional golf.
Yeah, absolutely. It's great to be here. Thank you for inviting me to the room that you built. I do blend in quite nicely.
Yeah.
Actually. I might just stay here a little longer. My life has taken a couple of interesting turns, and it is always centered around golf as a general theme, and then professional golfer since the age of 22. I'm 40 now. So 18 years being in the professional ranks, it's so
Very
old. It's so old. I always joke and I say I'm a young model with high mileage. You know, I'm like that 2024 BMW with like 500,000 Ks on the clock.
Yeah,
you know,
The one that just keeps on going.
exactly. That's me.
And gets more expensive.
But I do
Well,
think,
yeah.
and I do think as women, we definitely get better with age.
100%, like good wine. Yeah.
Good.
So I've decided now I'm no longer 40. I'm actually 2020.
I like that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Two 20-year-olds wrapped
20s.
up in here.
Yeah.
Yes.
Although we don't love 2020 as a year.
No.
Although
no.
hindsight's pretty good
Yeah.
in 2020. So
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's true.
exactly. There's a couple of connotations. They're good ones,
there's
albeit.
good ones also.
Yeah, 100%.
So do you want to start talking us through your career, how you started golf?
Oh, okay. It's been quite a journey. It's been a fantastic journey. There's obviously been highs and lows, as with anything in life. I started playing golf properly at the age of 14. I have pictures of me in a nappy, hitting balls, albeit wrong way around, cack-handed as we call it. I had clubs as a kid, used to hit up and down the driveway, grew up on a big farm. But I only actually started playing at the age of 14 after my dad passed away. He was an avid golfer. He was a Chi handicap. Took his clubs and started playing with my cousin. And very quickly had ability because I had a sporting background, tennis, hockey, cricket, athletics. So I could hit a ball, had no control. And my cousin got me into golf. And then I came home one day and I said, Mom, I actually want to play golf. Like I really enjoy the game. Started playing a bit more, ended up going for a couple of lessons. And my first handicap was probably like a 16. So I could play, I could hit, but I had no short game. So started playing more full time. And I ended up leaving school early to pursue golf, did my matric correspondence, and I played 5 years full-time amateur golf before I turned pro at 22. And in that 5 years full-time amateur golf, I managed to get my full junior and full senior SA colours. Turned pro at 22, went to tour school, which is basically your playing rights. So you go to Ladies European Tour School. Obviously, it costs quite a bit of money coming from South Africa back then. And you compete with a whole bunch of other players. And then the top 30 players get a card that entitles you to then play on tour. So I managed to get that my first try and went and played in Europe. Turned pro, got a card, and had no sponsorship. So I'm like, okay, well, what do I do? Like, I've got playing rights and no means to get there. So basically maxed out my credit card, went to go play 2 events in Asia. Went to play in Thailand, and I missed the cut by 1. And then the week after, went to play in India. I ended up finishing 3rd. So I made enough money to cover my entire trip, plus a bit extra. I then came back to South Africa, and I won the SA Open, which was my 3rd event as a pro, and it gave me enough, how can I word, recognition to actually go to someone and say, listen, I can play. I've got a title on my belt already, and I've got a playing card, but I don't have a means to get there. So I then ended up getting a sponsorship, which allowed me to go to Europe and to play. And I did that for 3 years. It was four guys who basically band together and put together sponsorship and gave me a credit card facility to actually go and play. And then the last two and a half years in Europe, I did it on my own, just because I needed that mental shift from having to pay someone back. And then it starts to eat at you psychologically. It was affecting my performance. And actually he turned around and said, listen, we can see you struggling. We can see that you have the ability and potential. You're just not converting those better scores. Go play on your own. So that was terrifying. Like basically no money, gain, max out the credit card. Done that a couple of times in my life. And I went to go play an event in Morocco and I ended up finishing second. So I made enough money in that one tournament to sustain myself for the rest of the season. I was fully exempt. I got into all the big events. And then I carried on doing that for another 2.5 years. Then towards 2012, we went from having 24 to 27 tournaments in a season that we could play, which is 27 weeks, if you look at it like that you can play golf, to 9. So now you start thinking, okay, there's 52 weeks in a year. What do I do for the other 43 weeks? How many golf balls can I hit?
So just coming back to that, was that a decision by the Golf Association, PGA, or whatever that might be, in terms of from a money perspective, or why would they go from 27 to 9?
There was just economic downturn in 2012 where your surplus budget gets cut back by all these big businesses that were supporting golf. So where you're spending a couple of million euro on a ladies event, you're like, no, we're not going to spend that. We're going to rather keep the business going. So there was a huge economic downturn in 2012. And that's when we started to lose a lot of our events, because golf is a luxury. And for these high-end companies that do want to be involved with an elite sport like that, they're putting a lot of money forward. So and when that happened, unfortunately,
can I ask, did the men's schedule also get cut?
It did get impacted, just not as severely as ours. Also, for the most part, a lot of those events have been around for 20, 25 years for the men. They will do their best to keep them going, whereas the Ladies European Tour at that stage was obviously still newer, still younger, but it's just how things worked, unfortunately, that the events got cut. So I then had to make a decision. Do I go and max out on my 9 weeks that I can earn a living, which is a huge amount of pressure? Or do I start looking at an alternative way to earn a living? So I thought, you know what, let's not be stupid about this. Let's come back home. Let's cut back on costs and let me start coaching, because at least then I can still play, I can still practice, and I can go back and play events when I'm ready. So I ended up coming back to Ram Park, and they welcomed me to come and play and be a tour pro who went to go play tournaments as and when it suited me, and then coach as I could.
As you could.
I ended up enjoying it. So then the next chapter of my life started, where I started playing and coaching, and then also realized at the same time it's hard to go to Europe back and forward and coach. So now I was in a position where I've now got a place to stay. I've got a car. I've got time with my friends and family. I have a social life. I actually have a life. You're not living out of a suitcase as you do when you're on tour. I still like competing. I still want to compete, but also that stability is very attractive. To then go, well, do I go back and play on tour? Do I not go back and play on tour? Like, what do I do? And then eventually I decided I'm going to stop playing overseas. And as I was about to decide that, they launched the local tour. So I thought, well, great. I can carry on competing. I don't have to worry about traveling overseas for weeks on end, losing that consistency with my clientele. And around about that time, I then met my husband, Dave, which also kind of cements in the fact that you're not going to go anywhere. Although he was very supportive, to be fair, to say, if you do want to go back and play, 100% I'll support you. And, I understand that there's a long distance relationship if that's the case. And we started seeing each other. And it then progressed from me being a coach and a player locally. And I actually played better golf in my late 20s, early 30s, being at home in South Africa than I did overseas. Just because if I had a bad week or a bad tournament, I come back and I give golf lessons. And as it turns out, I didn't have bad weeks because I knew I never had the pressure. So I must make sure of the stat before I correctly quote it, but I think it was 8 years I did not miss a cut on the Sunshine Ladies Tour just because I didn't have the pressure. I ended up playing better golf. And then I would still go give lessons in the afternoon anyway, if I was around. And it was like I was living my best life.
And so the pressure was all financial pressure?
For the most part, for me, I struggled with the financial pressure overseas. And even if it wasn't like my direct pressure. When I was playing with that sponsorship, it used to eat me up on the inside, that accountability. And like I would play and you could do the live scoring and go see. And I felt like I needed to explain why I made a double bogey in that hole. It was the best double bogey of my life. But I had this like strong sense of accountability to explain why my performance was not amazing. Whereas at the end of the day, you know golf. You know golf.
Yes. Yep.
It's just a game. It can go in ebbs and flows, but
And
that's
90% mental.
90% mental, absolutely. And it would just eat at me. And then because of my personality type, where I'm very A-type and I know exactly where everything is, I would have like this tally in the back of my head. Okay, you spent 50,000. You've got to finish top 10 this week. Okay, you now spent 70,000. You've got to finish top 8 this week. And every putt started to become more and more intense.
Yeah.
And it starts to eat at you. So the highs are exceptionally high and the lows are so low. And that emotional extreme, it's actually draining on you as a human. I felt like I must have aged so much in that time because of how it sits with you. You lie in your bed in the evenings before you got to wake up the next morning. You think, okay, right, if I do this and I do that, it means that. If I do this and like you end up not sleeping well because you're overthinking and you wake up anxious. So retrospectively, I look at it now and I understand how unhealthy the cycle was. But when you're in it, as it is with most unhealthy cycles, you don't know what you actually perpetuating until you're able to remove yourself. And when I started coaching and playing locally, I could then look back and go, wow, I was really putting myself under so much pressure to play that it really did stifle my performance. So to give you some very simple numbers, if I go back to playing on tour, I would convert a level par or a 71 into a 73. So that 2-shot swing in 4 rounds is 8 shots. Look where a player finishes on the leaderboard from top 5 to 45. That's what 8 shots is. I mean, your prize money is massive. And like that would be going through my head all the time, worrying about that 1 shot per round, 4 shots per tournament. So it's scary, and like to try and not do that. Actually, just.
And do you feel when you started the like the coaching side of things, and now you're playing as well, were you almost coaching yourself at the same time on the course because you're starting to get more, I guess, what's the word I'm looking for? Like almost aware of your shots and how you're playing?
I suppose it's fair to say that there was a fair amount of analysis that would happen, but I think I've always had, fortunately, good coaching myself, and I've always had good fundamentals. But what coaching did teach me was, I think, 2 key things. I reinforced a lot of the things that I already knew. Then I would go and play, and I'd be like, you know this stuff. So you start to become
that confidence.
Exactly, start to be like live that role model of exactly what you're teaching, you need to do. The other thing that it made me very aware of, and it's like taking a brand new golfer, is the struggle and how hard golf actually is. And to be able to help someone go from complete novice to be able to hit a golf ball, to be able to get onto the golf course, like, oh, I had my first par, or I shot my first score under 100. To enjoy that success, you almost start to realize that golf has got a sliding scale for all of us. And my definition of poor performance is someone's dream ambition.
Exactly.
And when that happens, to not actually beat myself up and go, oh, my golf is so bad. Someone would love to play golf at that level. And it's all just relative. And when you start to accept that my standard versus your standard is, we all got the same struggle. So years ago, I did cycling as a side note or like a tangent. And I started doing a couple races. And one of the guys I rode with, he says to me, cycling never gets easier. You just get faster. So golf never gets easier. Your handicap just gets better, but your expectations go up. So as a pro golfer, the expectations are way up there, or the standard that you expect yourself to play is way up there. But the gratification I get in shooting a good score is exactly the same gratification that you would get shooting a good score that's relative to your ability. And to start to appreciate that struggle and to appreciate the success. And that was great for me as a coach. I found that incredibly rewarding to watch someone improve or progress, however big or small. I realized it was a part of my personality that was never tapped into being a professional golfer, because you're incredibly insular. An athlete of any sport, you're very selfish. It's all about you. And I started questioning, going, well, I'm actually not that kind of person. I do like to pay it forward. I do like to help people. And whenever I played well, I wanted people around me to come and enjoy and be part of the success. Whereas if I look back on tour, the girls that started playing really well, went on a winning streak, they isolated themselves.
Yep.
Almost like their trade secrets were theirs. I'm never going to share this. So my whole personality was very different, where I actually wanted people around and wanted to share that and uplift people with me. Like, come with me on this journey, not like I'm on my own, cheers, bye.
Yeah. How has the tour changed over the years in terms of the ladies that are on the tour? Are they still quite insulated like that, or do you feel that there's so much access to information in today's day and age that there's not a lot of secrets anymore?
Still think golf being the nature it is, there is a lot of insulateness from the players because it's an individual sport. The team or the fraternity around a player has expanded. I think there's a bike and then a psychologist and a trainer. So that has expanded. And then there's a lot of overlap between that trainer works with 4 other players. So there is a sharing of information from that way. But directly, I still think because of the nature of the beast, it's still very, very insular from the player's perspective. But the information and the sharing in the other fraternity. So if I relate that now to the PGA, where we have individuals that do golf coaching, golf psychology, golf health and fitness, there's a lot more collaboration in that area. And then we all work with good players.
Yeah.
But the good players still keep them stuck to their secret stuff to themselves. But we collaborate more to try and uplift players as
much as you can.
Yeah.
It's interesting what you were saying earlier about it's almost as soon as you're looking through life through such a small lens and such a small scope with blinkers on, and you're magnified on this one specific thing. And for you, that was performance in your tournaments. And as soon as you took a step back and sort of opened yourself up to other things, other people, coaching, bigger experiences, it almost took the tight grip off of the anxiety around performance, right? And it meant that as a whole, not only your game, but your life also improved. And I think it's also so interesting that, you know, we're taught that there's this pinnacle of success. And once you reach that, everything has been achieved. You know, what else, where else can you go from here?
Yeah.
And I think for you, and I think for a lot of other female athletes, the pinnacle of success doesn't come with security. How do you think that differs between male athletes? I mean, you said that you were sponsored. What did that look like? You're still sponsored now by Strixon and Puma.
Yeah.
What does that look like, and how does that compare with male athletes?
It's a very different comparison. If I try and summarize it, even the sponsorship that I did have when I went overseas, I had to pay it back. It wasn't like, here's your money, go and play. I had to pay it back. Whereas a lot of the sponsorship agreements you get now are, here's your money, spend it how you want. When it's done, it's done. It's yours. So I still had that financial accountability. And look, things have changed. Obviously, I'm going back quite a few years now. And at the time, not to detract from that sponsorship, because I'm very grateful that I had it, and it did give me an opportunity to go and play, was I either had that or nothing.
Yeah.
So either you go and play and you gain experience, even if it costs you money, or you stay at home. So, you know, well, I'd rather go and, you know, come back with nothing.
Yes.
Where it's different for men and women. And just to quickly go back a sec from when I came back from tour, 2013, 2014, started coaching. They met my husband, David. We got married 2017. In that time, also started commentating. So Louis, he worked SuperSport. I went to go do a ladies event, and he said to me, we need someone to come in who knows all the players. Can I come in and help ident the players? And if I can, just say who they are and where they're from. So I went in, and I knew a lot about the players. So I was able to talk about Loretta Rich. She's been on tour for 26 years, and she's had 28 hole-in-ones. Anyway, so afterwards he came and said to me, you're actually really comfortable talking about golf. Do you want to come do a men's event? So I was like, okay, I don't know the men that well, but I can wing it. He's like, okay, come, have an event and see how it goes. So I did my first event, and he said, you did great. Can we offer you a contract to keep working with the men's tour? I said, I'd love to. So that's when I then progressed from just being a player and a coach to also commentating. So that's another side of the industry as well, where you are on the outside of the ropes, talking about what's happening on the inside of the ropes, but also you still there as well. So it was a very interesting and fun dynamic to add to my life. And then shortly after that, my little boy was born. So life got busy. But the question that you asked earlier, how's it different for men and women, was I was still playing on tour. And I said to Dave, well, we want to have a child. Like, I still want to play. It's a big decision because now your body's impacted, your hormones are impacted. You don't want to skip a season. You don't want to lose consistency with how you're playing. Like, how do you time this? He's like, okay, cool. So if I go and get off contraception, I should fall pregnant by then I can have my baby, then I can go back and play tour. Like, you try and almost plan this. No, life has other plans.
Yeah.
Like, you will fall
not so
pregnant
easy.
when you fall pregnant. You will have a child when you have a child. And I don't care about your schedule. Anyway, I ended up not falling into a schedule. Fell pregnant much later than what I wanted to. So I was like, I'm going to miss a season on tour and I still want to play and I'm not done. Anyway, I went back and played 8 weeks after he was born, played my first tournament, and I got into a playoff and I ended up losing the playoff. And all I could think about was getting off the golf course and pumping.
Yes.
Because my boobs were so sore. I had a 6-week-old or 8-week-old baby. I just played my final tournament round and I'm like, I want to get off the golf course. Oh, my word. I mean, that is something that a man will never have to worry about, ever. I played that tournament on an average of 3 hours sleep a night because my little dude was not sleeping. He was starting to go through the next growth phase. But I went back and I played. And your body is different. Your sleep is different. Your hormones are different. And it's different for a guy because they can just go and play. Nothing is impacted. For a female, you have to time when you want to do it. How does it impact your career? How does that impact your endorsements, your sponsorships? If you have complications with your child and you end up having to stay in NICU for longer, or you struggle to breastfeed, or you struggle to lose a weight, or you have issues with your body afterwards. One of the players, Nabuchle, her pelvis and hips were an issue for 2 years after her child.
Wow.
And she's a full-time tour player. So she had to get that under control before she could go back and play. So simply to answer that question, when it comes to having a family and having kids, it's very different for a male athlete compared to a female athlete. You have to time it. And there's a lot of players that don't ever go back just because they love being a mom or...
And the mum guilt comes in as well. You sprinkle
geez,
that
don't
in
talk
there.
to me about mom guilt.
Yeah.
Wow, that is a real thing.
Real
Mom
thing.
guilt, especially when they're a little bit older, because they actually know that you're not there.
Yeah.
When they're a baby, you're okay. And that's where also like having an amazing support structure is so key. I'm quite lucky that my in-laws are retired and they traveled with me for 2 years on such a
amazing.
ladies tour. They came with. They went to Sun
And
City.
I would have loved that.
They went to Cape Town. I would pump, leave bottles, go play my tournament, come back.
Awesome.
And then we would spend the afternoon together. It was great. And then obviously Ethan got a little bit older and had to go to school. But even then, there's a bit of a structure and you can still do it. When they get older and they know that you're not there for a week, it starts to tug on the heartstrings, especially when you're not playing well.
Yeah.
Again, that whole cycle of the highs are very high, the lows are very low. So I've managed to keep playing throughout. I think I missed one tournament through the whole phase of having a child and going back. And also I think being fit before does have a big impact on that. Your recovery postpartum cannot reinforce it enough. If you're strong before, you can get back quicker.
And also your head is strong. Your head needs to be strong to be a professional golfer, right? Like you need to be able to get yourself into that zone. So to be able to hold that amongst everything else, becoming a new mum, being on tour, having what I assume some sort of financial pressure as well. Because I think what a lot of people, see, I see that you're not so much on socials, but like what a lot of people see on social media in real life in compared to what your Instagram life in terms of reality and that highlight reel that a lot of people have on socials is that you just assume, oh, look at Tandi. She's like sponsored by Puma. She's sponsored by Strixon and she's winning all these tournaments. She must be milking it right now. But like, is that the reality?
No, definitely not. And there's still obviously, to start a whole new conversation, there's a massive pay disparity between males and females. So yes, I have had a run where I've done really well in a couple of events. I mean, 3 years ago, we had the Standard Bank Series, which was a bunch of local tournaments sponsored by Standard Bank, which were fantastic. And that happened for 3 years. The first year I finished second. The second year I won the Auto Merit, and the third year I finished fifth. But I had a nickname, which was ATM, because I kept winning. And like, oh, you must be like raking it in. So
That must have felt great.
it did. Look,
Except that when you look at your bank balance and not so much.
Listen, like, people think you're winning millions. So I'm going to give you an example, and albeit it's a bit distorted. In 2009, when I won the SA Women's Open, I won 12,000 Rand for winning our national title. Okay, because we'd unfortunately lost tournaments. There was no sponsorship.
Yeah.
They decided to have the tournament rather than not have it, to have a blank space on the trophy. So I won 12,000 Rand. Richard Sterney won that same year. He won 12.4 million Rand. So, yes, when you look at it, it's very different.
And
it's very, I mean, 12,000 Rand, I think I covered my costs, my fuel, my caddy.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not like
So
I can now actually, I can maybe go for lunch.
Yeah. So like there are a lot of men in the industry, in the professional sporting space specifically, that are now really starting to fight for the women and that pay gap. Yeah. Is the same thing happening in golf, or is it still very, very worlds apart?
It is better, and it is getting better all the time. I mean, obviously I don't want to say anything that discredits all the work that people are doing.
Yeah.
It is getting better. If I look at the Sunshine Ladies Tour, they're getting stronger and stronger year on year. They are increasing the prize funds. Is it compared to the men? It's still quite a bit different, be that as it may. I mean, it's still opportunities better than no opportunity. I think the big change that I would like to see as a player who's also maybe nearing towards the end of their playing career, who are now going to a different avenue of my life, whether be it paying it forward to the next generation or helping that next generation become the best that they can be, because at some point I will have to stop playing, not because I want to, just because it's a cycle of life. I'll move on and do something else, or go into corporate or pursue my other passions. But we need more tournaments. So there are still 8 tournaments on the Sunshine Ladies Tour schedule, and there's been 8 tournaments for 8 years.
Yes.
The men have got, if I'm not mistaken, 20-something tournaments. So if we could have another 8, a fuller schedule, then you'll start to see there's more traction, because there's more exposure, there's more endorsements, there's more TV time. You attract better players. When you start attracting these top players, the nearly quarters of the world, to come play, suddenly you attract a different target market. So it's like it needs to get some forward momentum, and they are doing well. Again, not to discredit them, they have done very well, and they have increased the prize funds. But we need more events to make it more attractive. To make it a bigger tour. And then also, I mean, I know that they're working on that now. Sunshine Tour is working on getting us world ranking points. That's a big game changer, because then you will attract a lot of the top players.
Yeah.
And then it starts to become more sought after. And that's when you should see an increase in prize money. But yes, there definitely are a lot of the Sunshine male tour players pushing for more opportunity, more equal opportunity. But the wheel turns slowly.
It does.
And it's probably not going to happen in my lifetime. Hopefully for the next generation, it does happen. Yeah. There is a lot more endorsements available now than what I think there was when I first turned pro. There's a lot more recognition for players that look good, train good, present an athlete, and there's a lot of opportunities on the periphery in which you can generate surplus income, which helps take the pressure off to then make you play better. Whereas 10, 15 years ago,
because South Africa have some of the most incredible golf courses.
Yes.
Like, they're beautiful. You can play, if you're at Leopard Creek and, you've got yourself a giraffe right there by that you can't putt because you've got animals on your fairway or whatever that might look like. Like, you don't get that in, parts of Asia or the US. And so I think from a tourism perspective as well for South Africa, it would do so well, because now you're televising it as well, and people from all walks of life are watching it, in every corner of the world, and they're like, oh my gosh, I want to go and play there. And so now suddenly it becomes a bucket list thing for them as well. And then you've got the people that are watching that are also wanting to go and play there. And now you're bringing in tourism and more money into the country as well. So it goes so much further than just a round of golf.
Exactly. And also it's something that when your local players start to do well and you send them overseas, they become brand ambassadors, not just for for themselves, but for the country. And yes, I mean, South Africa is an amazing country. You have so much to offer. Just the golfing experiences. I mean, you've listed Leopard Creek. We can go to Fancourt. We can go to Salza. We can go, into Joburg. There's so many beautiful courses that are Parkland-style courses that offer such diversity to individuals that love the game. I mean, we're a very diverse culture in that. And you would think that with that, we like a golfing haven. Why is there not more support for the local golfers to go overseas? And look, it is starting to get some good traction now. If I look at this last year on the Sunshine Ladies Tour, the Jordan Rothmans, the Nate Klein Hunts, these are amateurs that have just turned pro. Kyrie Woodley turned pro 2 years ago. These are the young players that have now just turned pro and have already got great golf games. They've got good heads. Yeah. They're fit, they're strong. They're aspiring to now go play overseas. I think our top golfer at the moment is Cassandra Alexander. She's done so well. Now I think she's probably wanting to bridge across and go to the States, which is where she should go. That's like the next progression for her. I mean, she's won in Europe. She's now got to go to the States. She's done well in the majors. But you need those flag bearers to then light the path for the next generation. And it's so great for me to see that, because as much as I wanted for myself and I wasn't able to achieve it because of my life or my time or decisions. I mean, so much of life is about timing. You know that. Golf is about timing. Life's about timing. Who you meet's about timing. It didn't work out for me, but I'm not disgruntled about it because I love my life. I love what I do. I love my coaching. I still get excited when I have a brand new golfer that wants to learn to play. I love playing. I still get excited to pick it up in a tournament, and I still love going to do commentary. I get to come home to an amazing husband and son. So the path my life has taken, I am very happy with. I still can't compete, and if I had the opportunity to go and play, I would. But when I see the next generation coming through and how much more accessible it is, I'm quietly excited because it was not easy. It was definitely not easy. There's still hard work, and also there's a lot more good players out there now. There were slightly less good players when I first started because golf was very much a male-dominated sport. There were less of you. There's a floodgate opening now of top golfers, but it's an exciting time. I think it's a great time to be a young woman in the golf industry pursuing a career, and there's a lot more focus on pushing women, which is great.
And to pivot on that, then, we actually met you at Women in Golf breakfast, and can you talk us through what within South Africa what they're trying to achieve with bringing more women into the industry as a whole and not necessarily just playing professional golf?
So I signed up for that last year, and it was a program where you have a mentor and you run through a program, and it's geared at women in the golf industry at different levels. So you have anyone who is answering a phone at a golf club to securing a booking to actually doing on-course management, golf ops, to even back office finance. And it's a joint partnership between the RNA as well as now the PGA is also obviously involved, PGA of South Africa. And the idea behind it is to get more women in the industry and staying in the industry as well as into key positions. So you are trying to upskill them to become club managers, golf directors in the industry. And as we both know, I mean, we all know, it's a very male-dominated area, and it has been for a long time. And that there is a shift, but to now push women into key management roles. That's the agenda. And then to keep them there, ultimately.
Yeah. I mean, golf it's always historically been, as you say, very male-dominated, but it's also been very elitist. Like, we all know that a game of golf is an expensive thing to do on a Saturday or a Sunday. Clubs are ridiculous. You can't do anything without lessons. We try the lessons. We're still terrible. Don't talk. But it's
like, did you practice?
No.
Busted.
But it's a very elitist sport. And in a country like South Africa, imagine, it's gatekeeping, it's gatekeeping a sport to the people who can afford it. Are there any programs or initiatives going on that is opening the sport up to the less privileged?
There are massive golf development programs that are underway. So you have your SAGDB, your South African Golf Development Board. They go into grassroots, into certain areas, and they focus on upliftment for those who have access to a golf course but don't have access to equipment. And then there's coaches that go in and work with them. A great example is a chap called Edwin Compton. He's out at Leopard Creek, so Mbombela, that side. And he's got, I think, if I'm not mistaken, 8 or 9 young ladies that are doing so well under his mentorship. And then through that program, they then get them to tournaments.
Wow.
They get them equipment, they get them coaching, get them practicing, aware of, good nutrition, hydration, time management. So they're trying to help them to become the best they can do. So he's a great example of that. That's happening there. There are quite a few programs like that happening throughout South Africa. The Women's PGA, which is a separate association to Sunshine Tour, because they obviously the governing body, and then separate to the PGA because they're the educational arm. They do a lot of golf development programs. They had one out in Orange River, which was hugely successful. I think they had 25 or 30 young women, all women, that they're focusing on.
Amazing.
Which is great. Where they supply them equipment, give them coaching, help them understand what they've got to practice, and then try to get them onto the golf course and actually playing. To then convert them into being full members, that obviously takes quite a bit of time and dedication, and then to retain them. And obviously life happens. You either go to school, university, but at least they've had the grounding to then decide if they want to pick it up later on. So with your comment, it's still one of the fastest growing sports in South Africa, golf, but for women. I mean, basketball is the fastest growing sport in Africa, but women's golf is still one of the fastest growing sports in South Africa. And if I look at the demographic of who comes to me for lessons, it is young women that are going to university or in university or just coming out of university, going into the corporate world, who know, I need to learn to play golf because everyone plays golf.
It's also still crazy, sorry, a bit of a tangent, that so much business is still done on a golf course. Like, it kind of grosses me out.
Not once you learn how to play, though, because it's actually quite fun.
And maybe if we weren't crap, we'd do more business on the golf course.
It's slightly less looking for golf balls in the bush and more down the fairway. You have more time for talking and conducting business deals. I know a good golf coach if you're stuck.
Okay.
I happen to use her.
I happen to have had a few lessons.
What does success look like for you within the golfing industry? Like, what would you love to see, in years to come when you're no longer playing on the tour, but like, what do you want to continue to contribute to the sport, and what would that look like?
It's a very loaded question. I think initially what I would like to see in the next 5 to 10 years is growth in the local tour, where there are more playing opportunities for the up-and-coming players, whether it be it more tournaments or better prize money, and then also more pathways from that. So the Sunshine Tour for the men, they have fantastic pathways where the top 3 players at the end of the season get a card onto the DP World. So that's the next tour up. That's the next step. The next couple players below that get a card to the Hotel Planner Tour, previously known as the Challenge Tour. So that's the feeder tour. So there's forward opportunities for those players that are finishing good on the Order of Merit to then go forward and play other tours. So I'd like to see that happening. For that to happen, we have to get world ranking points. For that to happen, we have to have more tournaments. So it all comes down to more opportunities. Yeah. More sponsors need to get on board. Corporate South Africa needs to get in and get involved and see that there is an untapped market that they can then leverage off for the women in their business, for their clients, for their service providers, that if we get involved with this, we're showing that we are growing the future, whatever their initiative is, to then get involved. So
what does that money look like in terms of to have more tours and or more tournaments, I should say? Like,
it can be anything. It can be anything from 200,000 Rand to a Pro-Am that helps the local players that are still trying to get consistent practice, building up to tour school. So tour school costs you about, depending where you go, whether it's Europe or the States, between 150 and 200,000. So that's just what you pay to go to play, to then earn a card or the playing rights or the privilege to then start playing. So that's your initial outlay before you even start. Then you've still got to pay your membership subs to the tour, whichever tour you decide to join. And then you need budget to then go and play overseas. Okay. And like anything, playing overseas for the first time or first couple of years is like university. You're going to mess up. Yeah. You need time to figure out, where do you enjoy playing? How do you cope with the weather, the conditions, different golf courses, the travel? Yeah. And you need to understand how your body copes with travel and like the different types of food. I mean, some of these youngsters, they go and they play and they come back like 8 kilograms heavier because, geez, we couldn't afford to eat proper food. We just ate rubbish. But you learn to figure out what works for you. So you need that buffer. Yeah. where if you're able to get a sponsor that will support you through that initial phase, because once you settle, you're going to then play well and produce fantastic results.
Yeah.
But to get to that point. So
Yeah.
like playing the first couple of years is like a university almost. You're just learning what you need to do to then apply that to your skill to actually earn a living. So anything from local programs, 1-day programs, 2-day programs, looking at 100 to 200,000 to fully fledged events. A co-sanctioned Ladies European Tour event with the Sunshine Tour now is at about 350,000 euro. But you don't have to put up that whole amount. You can be a co-sponsor. You can be a subsidiary sponsor.
Yeah.
I mean, Investec has been on board with the Sunshine Ladies Tour for a long time now. And I mean, they are still on board, and they have 4 players that they sponsor, 4 women that they then help go play in Europe. So they are also providing a fantastic platform. But we need more.
Yeah.
We
And
need
there's
more
a lot
because
of-
there's more players. There are other players that would love that opportunity.
Exactly. And there's a lot of, from what I've seen, there's a lot of money in South Africa. It's just, where's it being spent and how is it being spent? And of course, on the corporate side, they're looking at what's their ROI and how are they getting that. But to your point again, is the more tournaments and the more visibility,
Yes.
the more eyes on your brand
Yeah.
and how you're getting that. I think
Television improves, social media
Exactly.
improves, traction improves, more exposure, you attract more of the big players. And if you think about it, just to look at that live event that happened
Oh, yes, of course.
earlier this year, just because of the players that came.
Yes.
I mean, if you rewind back to when Tiger Woods came to
Yes.
play the Nedbank Challenge, the amount of people that just went to go and see Tiger Woods, like if you have players like that coming to South Africa because now there's great opportunities, you attracting more spectators. The next young, oh man, Dad, I want to play golf. Like I really want to play golf. You're inspiring the next generation. Like as you were saying, like the knock-on effect is massive.
Yeah.
But to get to that point, it's got to be attractive enough for those kinds of players to come to then start that chain effect.
Yeah.
Correct me if I'm wrong. You won PGA 2024, 2025.
Yeah. Oh, no, 2024, 25. I won last year and this year. Yeah.
Okay.
That's the women's national champion.
And that gives you the Order of Merit.
Oh, that was something different.
Is that different?
That is different, yeah. So we have the PGA as an association. They are, how can I word it? You all play together.
Okay.
So that tournament that we have is our national championship. There's a senior champion, there's a lady champion, and there's a male champion. So I won the ladies champion last year and this year. This year I finished 3rd overall. So at one stage I was leading, actually.
Yeah.
And then I made a couple of mistakes coming in, which I'm human. But last year I won the PGA National Order of Merit. So they have a host of pro-ams throughout the year, pro-ams and tournaments. And I was the first female in the history to win the Order of Merit.
Wow.
Of that.
Wow.
Just because I think we are 8% of the membership, 8 or 9%
Women are 8 or 9%.
of the PGA membership. Look, it's growing year on
Yeah.
year, but we are,
Geez, we're still a long way behind.
yeah. No, listen, I think this year the uptake is massive. I think we have 12 young women joining the PGA now. So it is getting more and more traction. And the PGA is the educational arm. So that's where you decide to go work in the industry. You're either going to be a golf director, you're going to work at an academy, you're going to run a fitness or going into the health aspect, maybe merchandising, retailing. So it's a different side of golf.
Yeah.
So to help like differentiate, and people often ask me this, is what's the difference between a golf professional and professional golfer? Well, like we always say, professional golfers play.
Yes.
Like your job is to play golf, and a golf professional teaches, runs an academy, you work in the shop, you're a golf director, you're a club manager, so you golf ops. You work in the industry versus playing.
Yeah.
Yes, you can still play, but you're not a tour pro.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's the differentiation. So you're a golf professional as opposed to a
A
professional
professional golfer.
Yeah.
So where do you want to see, like, where do you see yourself once, once you hang up the boots or the clubs? Are you going to just go full time into the coaching side of things, build your own academy? The commentating stuff is obviously something that you can kind of go forever if the opportunity's there. What do you?
So I'm in a bit of a weird space with that because I actually don't know. At the moment, the trifecta that I have, the coaching, playing, and commentary. It is fun, it's manageable, it's flexible. So as a mom who has to now do school drop off and go watch a soccer match, I have great flexibility, and I will ride this wave for as long as I can. Also, maybe when my son's a bit older and he won't need me as much to help with homework and pick up and drop offs and that, then maybe I can focus on a more time-bound schedule, where at the moment the flexibility really works for me. And again, I've got a fantastic support structure in my husband and my in-laws, and my folks also help a lot on the weekend. So like I cannot, reinforce enough how important it is to have that help and that support structure, because I'm away for sometimes a week at a time to play a tournament, and you need someone to help with the homework and all that. And also, again, talking about that mom guilt, it's a reality. Like, have I got enough food? Have I packed the fridge? Have I organized the stuff for the civvies? Have I paid for the soccer day? What's slipper day? All that kind of stuff that happens. Yeah. Does my husband have enough food? And it's great that my in-laws live 4 minutes from us, so they help, and my mom helps on the weekend, and it's great. But just to go back to what you said, I don't know what the next thing is for me, because there's what I want to do, and there's what I feel I should do, and there's also what's available. So I do want to, at some point, be involved in proactively growing the tour and growing events, whether that being a promoter and going to go source more sponsors to sell the brand, having walked that walk and saying, this is what you're getting behind. This is what it means. This is what you get. This is what the potential opportunities are, or whether it's actually trying to run an event, which is not really what I want to do, but if I had to, I would. I'll keep playing for as long as I can. I'm 40, I'm still fit, I'm still strong, I'm injury free. So I reckon I've got at least another 3-4 years in me of playing on tour. So I'll ride that wave for as long as I can.
And I feel like you've peaked the older you've got.
Yes,
right?
in my 30s, definitely. Definitely. I think
why do you think that?
I think it's a sense of maturity. And also, like, when I came off tour and started playing locally, like, I stopped trying to prove a point. I played golf because I loved the game. In the beginning, I was trying to play because I needed to earn a living and pay back money and be the golfer.
Yeah.
Now it's like, I am the golfer. Let me just play. So it's a big mental shift. Yeah.
And it's owning your identity.
Exactly. And they're not trying to prove it.
Well, you've proved it. Yeah.
Yeah, but sometimes when you're standing over a putt, you feel like you need to prove a point.
Yeah.
Like you need to validate your existence instead of just letting it happen organically. So that maturity came a lot later on, where I stopped trying to give a shit, and I just play golf because I love it. And that freedom, suddenly it becomes emancipating to play golf without that noose around your neck, whether it be it financial, emotional, psychological.
Yeah.
Because there are many aspects to golf that can hold you back. I've never had the physical limitation with injuries and that, but it's always been the emotional, financial, psychological, and that's always eaten at me more. Lots that goes on in the head over a golf ball, trying to quieten that voice and just play.
And you've got a very contagious personality. Your energy is... But your energy, it does. It
like a bad
people want to, I feel like you bring the best out in a lot of people. I see you, on the driving range, and you're always just communicating with people and creating those relationships, which I think is really, really important. When you're on tour with these youngsters that are there, and they're obviously in their own head and they're feeling really nervous because now they're also under the pressure that you were, and you've now got the experience.
I can see it.
How do you approach them? Are they like, are you kind of a mum to them in some ways?
In some ways, yes. At one stage, I think it was 2 years ago, they said something about, oh, we're going to ask the veteran. I was like, sorry, the what? You just call me a veteran? Like, I'm not that old. And I thought, actually, you're a lot older than them.
Yes.
I have made myself, and I still do make myself available to the youngsters. And I say, listen, if you want to talk, if you need help, if you need advice, if you need logistics, come to me.
Yeah.
I will help you. I'm not scared to give you knowledge and warn you about what you expect and what to. Unfortunately, you are only ready to hear what you're ready to hear when you're ready to hear it. So, I mean, I used the comment earlier, when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. So we had a wellness program that was launched by the Sunshine Tour with a fantastic lady called Joanne Mountford, who works on your mental game and how that affects your emotional game and how it affects your performance. And it's amazing how many of the youngsters just don't want to share. They don't want to talk about why they played bad.
Yeah.
And here's me going, oh, well, geez, it was the first day of my period. I had a fight with my husband and like, oh, I kicked the dog on the way out,
Yeah.
oh, that's why I played so bad. Like they don't want to share. When you get to the point where you actually just are willing to give that information, you start to realize that you're all actually in the same boat.
Yeah.
There's a lot of similarities and there's a lot of shared experiences that you can leverage off. So I think, again, to your question earlier, golfers are so insular. Like that whole sharing and working as a team and working as a group of women is a very foreign concept. That Women in Golf Leadership Program tries to bridge that, where you can all pursue your individual goals, but still work together, like leverage off each other as women. There's so much that you share that you can be using, that you can still be independent and have your own agenda, but leverage off the whole.
Yeah.
And that's been mind-opening for me, as well as I'm on board with that. If I can pay it forward to them in that regard, I would, and I am available. So if there are any young women that do watch this and need help or advice, phone me up, ask me. I'm happy to pay it forward. It's different now than what it was when I went to go play. There was less opportunity, less sponsors. It's a bit more accessible, but also with that, there's even more challenges. Like, how do you pick and choose?
Yeah.
Maybe that's the next challenge. And then to your question, what's next for me? I will keep playing. I'll keep commentating and keep teaching. I think I will teach for a long time because I enjoy it. I still love giving knowledge and watching someone grow, develop, progress, start. I still find it it's addictive.
Yeah. You're very good at it.
To watch someone progress and like just see them hit the ball for the first time. It's in
It's
the air.
straight. Well
And I'm
done.
like, but wait, there's more. It starts going further. I still enjoy that. I do have times where I feel a bit overwhelmed by coaching because, as you say, you give a lot of energy. I feel like a therapist some days listening to a person's drama about golf. Really?
Does that sometimes make you feel like, okay, my life's not so bad?
100%. 100%. I think the commentary also will run its course because there will be a change of guard I think SuperSport's in a state of flux, so there could be a change, which is fine. There'll be other opportunities. I'm not sure, but I will be in golf, whether it's merchandising, retailing, tournament, sponsorship, the next generation, and academy. I don't know, maybe an academy is something I could do, helping young coaches and, getting more involved in, again, the next generation. I enjoy being around young people and watching them grow and learn and develop. It's very exciting. And also maybe in like a non-parent way to like almost live a little through them and like, okay, come on, you've got this.
Yeah.
Without the pressure, obviously not like a parent trying to live through their child, but just to watch them grow and develop. Man, it's exciting.
Yeah, and you don't know where that next South African pro is going to come from. It's like
next major winner. You don't know.
You don't know.
Yeah.
And you see, the Adeles of the world who still remembers her first singing teacher, and it's probably
exactly
the same way there. I
do hope I can keep playing golf well into my ripe old age.
I'm sure you can. Keep yourself fit.
Yeah, but also, to play to a standard that you still feel is good. Yeah. I think that's going to be the next sort of big bullet to swallow, that you'll start losing distance, won't go as far, have to go to a forward tee box. I still play off the slightly more back tee box at the moment.
Yes.
It'll still be golf.
It's still golf.
I just don't know what yet.
Does your son play?
My son can play. He plays beautiful golf. He makes sound effects as he hit, as in whack, whack. There's no pressure on me for him to play. Okay. If he wants to play, fantastic. I'll take him to practice. I will not coach him.
Yeah, it's a good idea.
He can go to Coach Brown or to Coach John.
Yeah.
I like my sanity, but I'll take him to practice and I'll facilitate.
And you'll watch with a keen eye while you're...
Yeah, exactly. I'm not pushing him to play any sort of these SA Kids or junior events. He has a beautiful swing. He hits. I want him to be able to play with me and my husband because we both play. I'm still at the point where I've watched enough youngsters get disheartened by parents pushing too hard, wanting it too badly and trying to live their dreams through them and just pushing them into specializing too soon. Yep. So I would like my son to swim, hockey, tennis, golf, soccer, and then later on he can say to me, Mom, actually, I really want to play cricket.
Yeah.
whatever it is, and then I'll back him on that.
Well, similar to you, you only, like you said, you picked up those golf clubs at 14.
Which is late.
Which is late. Do you think some of that was honoring your dad?
Huge amount of that was. Yeah, that was definitely my connection to him. And even when because he was killed in a car accident, and it was like a sudden thing. When someone's sick and they're going to die, you are relieved when it happens because of the end of suffering.
And had time to say goodbye.
When someone dies quickly, it's a shock.
Yeah.
Especially when you're at that age. I was 14, and he was also like my person. My brother and my mom are very, very close. They're still very close. My mom and I are a lot closer now. Obviously, over time, we've grown a lot closer. But he was my person. So when he passed away, it was like a big chunk of you gets ripped out.
Yeah.
So when I could go play golf, it was my way of still connecting with him in a way that was his thing that he used to enjoy. And I ended up enjoying it as well. So it's just...
And he's coming through you with that.
100%. And I think if I look back now, I think he would be very proud of what I've done and very happy that I play golf. Probably still be telling me, keep your head down, brush the grass. Yeah. As you know,
as all males do.
Males do.
You lifted your head up.
He would have mansplained something to me. Although I think I'd probably be hitting it past him. So I'd be like, whatever, Dad.
Yeah. You would have been like, Dad, I would have beat you on that 18.
100%.
That's awesome. Yeah, because that's a tough age also.
14. Emotionally, it's always tough. It doesn't matter when it happens, but that is a particularly tough age, especially for a young female who needs a dad in that late teenager part of your life. You need dad.
Yeah.
Dads have a special place in, I think, girls' lives. They're like your dads are like your first love. Yeah. You idolize them.
Yes.
Especially when they get taken away early. Yeah, it does change your perception on things a little bit. So.
Yeah, and can't give that phone call while you're on tour dealing with certain things.
Exactly. But then again, your life always takes the path it's meant to take to turn you into who you're supposed to be. So despite all the hardships and challenges and loss and struggles, you learn more about yourself in times of difficult and emotional upheaval than you do in the successes. So a lot of what I've been through, as we've all been through, has made me who I am now, and it's helped me be the best version of myself. So I can't look at it negatively.
Yeah.
It's turned me out to be
who you are.
So on that point, and speaking to the next kind of generation of golfers coming through, obviously you had an innate skill and ability and athleticism that really did contribute to your success. But what are the other factors that you think a young golfer or who wants to go pro, or any athlete, I think, what are those other attributes that they need for success?
A very overlooked and misunderstood attribute is enjoyment and fun. I think as soon as you turn what you do into work, it stops being enjoyable. So if you have fun every single day of your life, you don't work. And I can honestly say that. I have fun every single day. That's why I never get tired going to work. I love the people that I work with, all the different aspects at the academy that I work with, at the golf club, at SuperSport. We have so much fun. Golf was not fun when I was playing on tour. In Europe, golf was not fun. It felt like work. You'd lose your motivation to wake up and feel energized or motivated for the day, because it actually was like a job. I need to do this to do that.
Yes.
If you can keep that, where golf is always fun and you can remember why you play the game, which you lose, and you also need to lose it, I suppose, to
steer you back,
to get the context, 100%. It is such a key ingredient, and it is so unique for each of us. Like your concept of fun and my concept of fun and your concept of fun is very, very different. But to not lose the enjoyment, the raw enjoyment as to why you do something, you do not work a day in your life.
Yeah.
It's hard, because some days you're like, oh, I don't really want to do it. Yeah. I've tried to give up golf 3 times. Genuinely. I have tried to give it up. One of those times was I went to go play in the UK. I was a top amateur. I was going to go play the ladies British amateur, which is one of the biggest amateur events you can play. It's the top players in the world, like the creme de la creme. All right. Which at the time I was. And there was another tournament in Scotland at St Andrews, like the oldest golf course, the home of golf.
That's
like amazing.
Bucket
you just
list
arrive
stuff.
and you're in awe, like your jaw's on there. You're like, wow, I'm at St Andrews. And it's called the St Rule Trophy. It's the oldest amateur event you can play. I go out the first day, we play the new course. So there's a couple courses there. We play the new course, and the next day we have 36 on the old course. I shoot 86.
Which is bad.
It is so bad. It is so bad.
Just for the non-golfers, it's bad.
I am fit. I'm healthy. I've been hitting balls. I've got a psychologist. I've got a psychiatrist. I've got a biokineticist. I've got all the ists. Okay? All the ists. And I play like an absolute chop. I come off the course, I'm in tears. Like it was wind and rain.
Yeah,
Given.
yeah.
It was tough.
That's St. Andrews.
Wind and rain. And I come off the course and my coach is with me. And I was like, I can't play golf. I'm done. I don't have what it takes. I don't want to play golf. I need to go home and get a job. Like, I can't do this. I'm trained. I'm ready. I'm primed. And then I implode on the golf course. There's so much anxiety, so much like I wanted too badly. He's like, oh, it's fine. You can go back home and get a job, but you're still going to finish. I said, no, I'll finish the tournament. I'll play the next day, 36 holes the next day. Ugh. And I have that ugly cry, like where your mascara is like down to here.
Yes.
That ugly cry, because now I've dedicated myself to this for 10 years or however many years. At that time, I think it was 6 years, dedicated myself. I hadn't even turned pro yet. I was top amateur. Now I'm going to throw in the towel. It's like breaking up with the love of your life.
Yeah.
You don't want to, but you have to. I cried myself to sleep. The next morning I had to wake up and I had to play 36 holes, because now it's like, I know I'm done.
Yes.
And it's like that release as well as that raw emotion. I shoot 9 under, 6 under.
Of course you did, because you
And
take
that's
the
a
pressure off.
As soon as you put the pressure off.
The last 3 holes. So I should have been 9 under, 9 under. I go from 14 over to 2 under par. I like pole vault. I like lap people in the field.
Yeah.
And I played golf, excuse my French, like I did not give a shit.
Yeah.
Ball, target, hit. Ball, hole, hit. So much freedom, because I knew I'm done.
Yes.
I'm like, I didn't have to play this anymore. I'm done. I'm going to go home. I'm going to go get like a medical degree and become a doctor or whatever. I played with so much freedom.
Yeah.
And I walk off the course and he goes, okay, so what's in now? I'm going to keep playing. He's like, you realize what it takes. So you've got to find a place where, yes, it was rock bottom.
Yeah.
But I gave in.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't give up. I gave in. I still picked a target and went through my routine and chose a line and chose the correct club. But there was zero emotional attachment to the outcome. And that's when I actually learned how to play golf to my potential. I came back home after that tournament and I won 4 in a row. And then I turned pro.
You see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
From like literally wanting to pour petrol on my clubs and make a little, teepee of fire and hate and despair to 5 weeks later turning pro.
Yeah.
And that's how quickly that shift can happen for the good or for the bad.
Yeah.
Brooks Koepka says we are all one shot away from giving up and one shot away from the golf of our dreams.
Yeah. Yep.
It is literally that finite.
That's finite.
And as with everything in life, the best things come from rock bottom.
Yeah.
Oh, geez, I was so rock bottom. I'm kidding you. Like literally there was like mascara lines down to the bottom. It was such an ugly cry.
I'm so excited to see the next few years for you. And I get to be alongside that because you are my coach.
Yeah. For the moment. Maybe
my goal is to get to an 18 handicap, or at least be handicapped.
You can so do it.
This 36 plus thing is just not working out well for me.
Yeah.
So I will get better and I will practice, I promise. But I'm excited to see how, like, what you bring to the industry and to that next generation, because I think you have so much knowledge, so much experience, so much to give these young girls, because in today's day and age, there's just way too much noise. And I think people are getting distracted, and I think you'll be giving them some honest and comfort, and that feedback's going to be very important to have that.
I do hope so. I also know that at some point you do become redundant. Like, again, the things that I did then are different to what it is now. The challenges are different. There are a lot of similarities. I mean, also, you mentioned about social media. That's a scary void for me, because I think you can go down a bit of a rabbit hole.
Well, we might have to launch you when we launch this podcast.
Fine.
Dear God.
We need to tag someone other than CCJ.
Just to admit that my aversion is that on a Facebook, I just feel like it's a false projection of your life, and it's a screenshot of a moment in life, whereas life is not always #living my life with a drink. Like, there is so much more realness that happens to just screenshot one part. Yes, it's great to share the good stuff. But we are holistic creatures that are made up of a multitude of emotions, and you need to look at the realness.
Yeah.
And it's ugly and it's messy and it is what it is. So that's kind of my aversion with it, is that you can't sugarcoat everything.
Yeah.
But I don't think you should sugarcoat everything.
Yeah.
I think the audiences have changed.
Yes.
No one's looking for the perfect brand anymore. They want the real, because that's what they identify with.
Exactly.
You know?
And I think that shift now for me is more exciting. So there I can
So now you're like, now I can kind of buy in a little bit.
And especially if you are like looking to inspire the next generation, they want to see the ugly days.
Exactly. Exactly. It's not glamour. Being on tour, it is not glamorous. If I can remember, every year on tour, we'd finish the first week of December. From the day I landed back in Johannesburg after the last tournament, training started.
Yes.
So everyone now is down gearing for December, cocktails, beaching. I'm in Joburg, bashing golf balls in the gym. It's like those long, dark hours in the early morning. I'm stepping up my training in December, and everyone is like, oh, we're going to go to here and have lunch. And I'm like, sorry, guys, I'm training.
Yeah.
And then my downtime was in June, where I had a gap. Come home, it's cold. No one wants to go out. So like your whole schedule's on a complete different timeline.
Yeah.
And I'd be training my butt off in December, and everyone's
And people are
chilling.
like, why do you need to train for golf? You're just like,
because my season starts. First week.
Aren't you just hitting balls?
Yeah, last week of January. So I had like 6 weeks to get myself ready for the new season. So it was such a different timeline, and like you living your life like trains passing in the night.
Yep. Yeah.
So it's not glamorous.
It's not glamorous. I think professional sports in general are not as glamorous as what people think that it is. And what I enjoy about where social media in some ways is going now, if you're following the right people, is that they are showing those hard days, but they're not using them to give you permission to be a victim to that.
Yes.
And that's why I love your story so much, because it gets to that point where you're like, it is hard. And like you said, you're not giving up, you're just giving in. And then you ended up playing 2 rounds of golf of your life. And then you realize, actually, you know what, if I don't put so much pressure on myself, but still take it seriously enough, you're actually going to do well.
100%. I saw a funny meme the other day of this beautiful, strong athlete in the gym holding weights. And it says there, like, how do you do it all? Wife, kids, job, career, whatever. She says, no, something's always in chaos.
Yes.
This week, it's sleep.
Yes.
So every week is something that is not being done.
Yes, exactly.
Sleep or social life, something is always left. Yeah.
Something needs to be sacrificed.
And you have to pick and choose.
Yeah.
You have to pick and choose.
Yeah.
Some weeks, unfortunately, it is family because it's a tournament. But then the next week, come back and, sacrifice something else and make sure family has their time. I think also for my son, as much as I have that mom guilt, and that mom guilt, it ate me up a lot last year. I struggled with it big time because he was going into grade 0 and there was more of a demand for mom to be around and I was not around, and I could really feel the guilt, especially when you're not playing well. Like all those emotions come to the fore. And my mom-in-law, funny enough, actually said to me, you are teaching him that it is so important to still be a mom. When you're with him, you are 100% present and dedicated. And he also knows that you work. And when you work, you're working to give him the best life, and you're being a role model, even though it hurts you. You're still showing him a great example. So don't let it like eat you up. And I was like, oh, I never thought about it like that. Okay.
And to come from your mother-in-law, you're like, yeah, I love you. No, but it's true though, isn't it? It is true. Because your son is witnessing that, and you are a strong female presence in his world.
Yeah.
And you're dominating outside of it too. And so like he's going to go onto YouTube one day and be like, look, that's my mom. It's pretty cool.
Yeah. Hopefully.
He will.
I feel like we could just chat all day.
We could.
This has been amazing. Thank you so much.
Thanks,
for coming
Tandi.
in.
It's been great.
It's been awesome.
We do have one final question before we wrap up.
Yeah.
What is the room that you've built?
Oh, the room that I've built. There's no like sort of sneaky catch to it.
Well, I don't know where your mind's going. but
Yeah. Okay.
No, there's
Stop
not.
it.
Always in
That's
the
like
gutter.
a whole nother question altogether. I suppose the room that I've built is a space for women in golf to live, learn, and grow. That also encompasses a space to have the balance of life, family,
Yeah, I love
a
that.
career, and an identity
Yeah.
that's uniquely you.
And that is the room that you've built. I love that.
Mm.
Well done.
Thanks.
Good job.
That was like on the fly.
That is so good. But that's because that is what you've done.
Yeah, I hope so.
Love
I
that.
hope so. Now I must just go live it.
No, go to gym.
Starting right now. That's exactly it. Thanks, ladies.
You're amazing.
Thank you.